Learning theories are ideas with supportive information on how learning is affected by cognitive, emotional, and environmental influences. Learning is our ability to change our behaviors based on the experience we have. Memory can sometimes be confused with learning because it is used to help us learn, although it isn't the same. Memory allows us to use information we have stored. I began learning before I even knew I was learning, watching my parents and picking up on things like what to do and what not to do. My first memory, I was 5. I saw my mother use the stove numerous times, so from watching, I learned to use it myself. One day, I turned it on and stuck my finger in the fire. Using my episodic memory, I can think back to the time and know how I felt to touch fire and know that I do not want to do it again. Also, as a strategy to changing my behavior, she made me stand in the corner as a punishment. B.F. Skinner says that behaviors can be changed, and I feel that this is a prime example. As a hobby, I enjoy reading. Most of our brain's activity occurred in the unconscious state, so the information that it lets out is limited. If someone were to ask me how I know how to read, I would likely need to use all three of my memories: episodic, semantic, and procedural. Semantic would tell what reading is. Episodic will remind me of the time I first learned to read. And procedural would tell how I do it. Every day, I wake up, shower, brush my teeth, get dressed, and get my children ready for school. This is a pattern that I follow, and it is behavior. This is a behavior that I learned because from the time I was a child, I was always told to take care of my hygiene first thing when you wake up in the morning. It has now become to the point where if I don't take care of my hygiene first, I will be grumpy. A behaviorist will look at my behavior and try to figure out the problem, but a cognitivist will look at my cognitive thinking to find the root of the problem. I get frustrated and emotional when I can't understand things. For example, if I can't figure out how to do an assignment, I will get upset and I'll act angry in an angry manner toward everyone. A cognitivist would look beyond my behavior to the cognitive thinking. What is it within my brain that is causing my behavior? They might discuss my memory. Why isn't this information sticking with me? Is my memory blocking this information? Is this the reason behind my frustration? I believe my intelligence is intrapersonal. I like to be in touch with myself when it comes to learning. Knowing what my goals are, what works for me, and what don't is how I feel I succeed in learning. When it comes to self-efficacy, I believe my ability could be higher. Self-efficacy is one's belief in their ability to motivate events that affect their goals. I have a hard time sticking to goals which would help me improve my online learning. I think for me it is best to start with smaller goals and work my way up to the bigger goals. My first memory of tragedy was when I was 10. I was chased by a dog. From that moment on, I had a fear of dogs. By recalling this traumatic event causes me to be afraid whenever I see a dog. Psychologist says that if phobias are caused by conditioning, then conditioning should be able to be used to overcome them. For example, if I'm introduced to a dog every day and get to feed him, I could overcome my fear. A victory for me would be returning to school. At times it's become so overwhelming and I want to quit. Thankfully, I have a supportive fiance that motivates me to keep going. Whenever I say I'm going to quit, he gives me positive reinforcements telling me how well I'm doing and I'm almost done, so I should just stick with it. These things motivate me to keep going and striving to reach my goals.